We're doing a market watch on 12 players for Dynasty Fantasy Football to see whether or not you want to set them on fire. But before you do, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're going hard in the paint, helping you build your Dynasty teams this offseason and season every single day. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're doing a market watch today. We're looking at these players. We're looking at these player values, seeing whether you want to buy, sell, hold, set on fire, whatever you want to do. But we're going to cover the numbers. First player, Devante Smith. And looking at the value, it's holding steady right now compared to what it was pre-draft. Wide receiver 17, ADP 25. And what I like about him, he's pretty steady, but he also gives you those boom weeks. And that's what we want out of those wide receivers because he helped you win some weeks last year. And then when he wasn't, he was holding steady. You see that in the numbers below me. The stock's heading steady, and he's got a contract, 14.2 PPR points per game. So he is getting you that value, and he's going to be productive for a while. Kenneth Walker, RB10, ADP 40 right now per DynastyLeagueFootball.com. He's holding steady right now. When he's healthy on the field, he's productive, and when he's not productive, he's productive enough. And the down thing about him is the injuries. We've had him come out off the field a few times over the course of his career. Zach Charbonnet is going to take some of the passing work. Watch for Kenny McIntosh in training camp. But Kenneth Walker's got some upside. He's got some zip. When you're looking at him in startup drafts, at ADP 40, though, you might be going wide receiver over him. You might be doing that if you're building around wide receivers. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm probably doing, depending what's on the board and depending on how I'm strategizing with what's on the board. But Kenneth Walker, if he's on your team, you love to have him. He's not a sell because the market's not really super high. It's saying it's not super liquid right now because there's no spikes in value with the ADP. But you love to have a running back like this on your team because when he's healthy on the field, he's getting you those RB1 weeks. However, you got to know when you're building your team, you have to build around the running back the correct way. You can't be over lopsided at the running back position, but you can't have no running backs at all. But I like to play money ball with the running backs. I like to go as cheap as possible. Kenneth Walker's not a player I'm eyeing, but if he is on my team, which he is probably somewhere, then I'm probably just saying, hey, I'm going to enjoy the production for a little bit, understanding what I got. He's only 2 years into his career. We still got some more time to go with him. But still, running back is running back. Looking at Rashod Rice, wide receiver 37, ADP 60. It's taken a little bit of a dip since the car accident. But what we heard from minicamp is he's looking good. He's looking crispy. He's been on fire. One of the top players out of minicamp for the Chiefs. So if that holds steady, if that holds true through training camp, you're going to see a ramp up because the news is going to talk about him a lot. And we don't know about the suspension, but he's looking better on the field right now in practice. That's what we're hearing. And maybe this lights a fire under him. Maybe he gets better over time. Look at his production over the back half of the season and that ramp up. That could still be there. Even with Xavier Worthy, even with Hollywood Brown, that could still be there. And if we see an increase in his ADOT, 4.8, that's a puke fest. That's a puke fest ADOT. If that increases to like 9, which is still a puke fest, you're saying, hey, this guy's going to be more productive. Even the target share, 17%, with a Hollywood Brown, another wide receiver, you can still rock that. You could still rock that. And if you get an ADOT around 9, you're talking about a wide receiver that's over 1,000 yards receiving or more productive one way or another or more steady, or you're just seeing more of that back half of the season just throughout longer. That's a buyout wide receiver 37. He's going into year 2. It's not like he's a vet. He's going into year 2, and maybe this lights a fire under him. That little dip right there, maybe you can catch him. But what I'm seeing from the market, he's not really that liquid. He's not really that liquid, just cheaper in startup drafts. Isaiah Pacheco, if you want to stay with the Chiefs, if you're looking to play money ball at running back, but you don't want to go too cheap, but you do want to go kind of cheap and you want touches, this might be your guy. This might be your guy. He's still valued as an RB1. He's on a team that's explosive. He's still productive. He's used in the passing game, almost 50 targets last year, 44 catches. That should ramp up a little bit. Size adjusted athleticism for days, RB1 weeks, and at this price tag, you're still getting wide receivers built along with him. You're still playing in that 1 to 2 year window with the running back position. You're always going to do it, but you're doing that at a discount. You're getting opportunities to get RB1 weeks. Maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to do it that way. It's your team. Do what you want. But Zay Flowers is here at wide receiver 22 and an ADP of 36. The value is kind of high, but he is a young wide receiver, and he can get you those spike weeks. The down games aren't horrible. He can get very low on those, like a 6, an 8, a 2, a 1. But on top of that, the spike weeks are grand because he's got good speed. He can win downfield. I want that ADOT to get up. If we can get an ADOT of around 10 or so, get some more deep balls, get more opportunity, which could happen. You could see more production. Rashod Bateman's not going to be there forever, even though the contract got a little bit better for him. Rashod Bateman might see an increase. Who knows with him? Who knows with him coming back from that injury? We're still getting back right with that. Zay Flowers, first round pick. A lot of upside here. Good on the short, good on the intermediate, good on the deep ball. Zay Flowers at this price tag could be just a steady wide receiver. I think he's cheaper on the trade market than startup drafts. I think he's very liquid. I think you can catch people moving on from him pretty good considering he's on the Ravens, considering he's going to be outshined by these rookies right now. That rookie value, you got a lot of good rookie wide receivers right there. And I believe you can probably catch him a little cheaper than wide receiver 22 on the trade market if you're looking for a young wide receiver. Sam Laporta, tight end 1, ADP 18.5. Reason why we're calling this out, the ADP is slowly jumping up. He's not liquid. He's expensive. We do not see rookies catch 86 balls at the tight end spot too often, on top of double-digit touchdowns. Look at all those green candlesticks down there with the production. 7.1 targets per game, 20% target share. He's got a good ADOT for a tight end. He's pushing some of these wide receivers that we just talked about. He's running on 80% of the routes. He's good to go. Draft him. You can build around him. DK Metcalf, wide receiver 19, ADP 34. This is a very weird spot in ADP, considering the age, considering the production here. Best ball, you like him. The thing is, when you look at the production, when he's on the low, it's not super, super low. He's still getting you into double digits. He's only winning you about a couple games a year. One last year, technically, depending on your threshold. If you're saying 25 points or more in a game, he got you one. 14.1 points per game, but he's steady. He's steady, 10, 11, 12, 13 points on average a game. When you're looking at the chart, he got a couple downers, but he's also not winning you many weeks. But he's also on the field getting a lot of opportunity. A 22% target share, 12.9 ADOT, splash week candidate. You love him in best ball. Kind of, sort of. We kind of want those spike weeks more often. We kind of want a couple more. But he's also steady. Do you want that, or do you want to pivot? Do you want to pivot to another wide receiver? I think he's liquid, and I think you can catch him cheaper than wide receiver 19 on the trade market due to age, due to numbers, but really depending on probably where you live at. People on the West Coast more are like apt to hold DK Metcalf, where probably where I'm at, people don't think about him too much due to that Pac-12 after dark. I know it's on the West Coast, and I know I'm talking college football, but from where I'm at, people don't talk about Pac-12. People don't talk about Pac-12. People don't talk about Seattle. That being said, DK Metcalf is probably more liquid in other leagues than others. Wide receiver 19 in ADP. ADOT 12.9. I love that downfield. Averaged 14.1 points per game, though. 26 years old. Not a young wide receiver, not an old wide receiver. We are approaching the age apex. What are they going to be doing with Jackson Smith and Jigba? Does his value spike if they ever move on from Lockett? A lot of questions here. But we're at this spot here. ADP 34 is kind of high. ADP is kind of high. However, he is steady. But again, you might be able to catch him cheaper than that on the market, depending on your league. Kick those tires, see what happens. CJ Stroud, though. QB4, up from QB5 from the last time we talked about him. ADP 4.5, 41.5, 1 QB ADP. So he's expensive no matter how you flip that dollar bill. And the thing is, we want this offense. We want everybody involved in this offense. He's nasty, tossing it downfield, really hitting those windows. 301 air yards a game. Deep ball rates up there. Catchable target rates up there, 73.6%. He's got Stephon Diggs now. Just keep buying. Just get him. Hold him tight. You're only going to sell if you have to, but you don't want to sell. Cooper Kupp, pivotal wide receiver, pivotal ADP. I'm going to let you know this. You can't sell him. Nobody wants to buy him. Nobody wants to buy him, so he's kind of like just stuck there. He's stuck there. People keep drafting him, though. At wide receiver 35, as like a wide receiver 3, he can be productive. The injuries are there. The down weeks are there as well. And it's been a while since he's been that Triple Crown wide receiver. It's been a while. Those days are over. Those days are over. Cooper Kupp's not that Cooper Kupp anymore. It's just not. He's going to give you some production. It's going to be there in splashes. But those days are over. He's cheap. But if I'm not in a win-now mood right now, if I'm not set to win the league, then I really don't want him. He's got to go. Zamir White, RB20, ADP 83.83. He's where the rubber meets the road in ADP, honestly, when it comes to the running back position, because you can get built at wide receiver here, and now you can catch a running back that can get some volume, can get you some touchdowns, that can get you a good opportunity share, because he was one of the top running backs in the league in opportunity share over like the last 4 games of the season. That being said, we should project that out as long as he's healthy on the field starting off this year, which means he's going to give you more production than RB20 when it comes to fantasy. That being said, long-term, of course, but we're not looking long-term with any running backs. That's why we're paying down. If we're looking long-term, Bijan, Brees, and company, those top guys. But we're playing money ball here. Zamir White, if you're good, and then if there's no other wide receivers you want in this range, that's why I say the rubber's meeting the road. So you might be paying down even more at running back, or this might be your sticking point somewhere in this range. Joe Mixon, RB19, ADP 86.67. We just talked about CJ Stroud. We want this offense, but nobody wants Joe Mixon. But listening to the beat writers here from minicamp and OTAs, they're saying buy Joe Mixon. They're saying get Joe Mixon. He's going to be using the passing game. He's going to be getting opportunities. They are probably going to have a little bit of mix at the running back position there with some of the incumbents, but they're going to be using Joe Mixon. He's going to be getting opportunities. He's going to be using the passing game. He's looking good in camp. He's looking good in the clips. He's looking good in the highlights here with the Texans. You want this offense, and if you want a cheaper part of this that can still be impactful for your team, Joe Mixon. I don't think he's liquid, though. I think people are going to hold on to him. He's a running back. We got him for another year or so, maybe longer, but we're looking at 1 and 2 year windows with these running backs. We're not playing the long game anymore. And if you're not playing the long game, RB19 Joe Mixon, why not? That's a good price tag. Texans are going to be moving the ball. They got Diggs now. They're going to be moving it. You're not going to stop this team. This team's going to keep going unless something happens out of the ordinary, like injuries or something. This team's going to be moving the ball. Why not go with Joe Mixon? Look at the chart down there with the production. RB1 weeks galore. He is a very good running back and a very good offense. Alvin Kamara, RB22 and ADP. Not too far off from Joe Mixon. The writing's on the wall that he's not a long-term asset, but not too far off at age 29. But good in the passing game, great in PPR. We're playing the 1 to 2 year windows with these running backs anyway, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The market's saying that. The market's saying that. 5 years ago, at age 29, the market would have sent him to hell. He'd be around like RB28 to RB30. Now the market's saying, hey, we're playing in 1, 2, 3 year windows with these running backs. We know what we're getting into. If I'm built to win, I love Alvin Kamara. If I'm built to lose or built to be okay or so, you might want to trade in season once you get a few RB1 weeks. But he's going to be productive. He's going to be catching passes out of the backfield for sure. While he's healthy on the field, you're going to be getting the goods. If I'm middle of the road or worse, he's gone in season. Maybe right before it. If I'm a win now team, I love him. I love him. That's it. And that's the bottom line. I'm willing to pay this as long as there's no wide receivers or tight ends that are young, productive, upside guys that I like that are on the board. If not, I'll keep paying down at running back, playing money ball, and that's about it. I'm looking at these guys as asset classes. Older running back that can be productive, Those guys are good as long as there's no young wide receivers available that I like. That being said, Alvin Kamara is a guy that you may want to shoot your shot on. But those are 12 players that we're looking at today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.